Hey, I'm Caitlin, but you can call me Kate like my family does. Make yourself at home here. It's a safe space. I wanted to make a little channel just with some pieces of advice on dog ownership that I wish someone told me before I got started. If you know me in real life, you probably know me as the girl who's obsessed with dogs. If you know me on social media, you know me as Tater Tot's mom, who is joining us from the couch here. I adopted him with a friend, and I had no intentions of keeping him in the beginning. It just kind of worked out that I did. He was my first dog. And since then, I have foster failed another dog and fostered a second dog, and she recently was adopted. So I wish I got a book on this before I got started, but I didn't. And the reason why I don't think anyone can write a legitimate step-by-step guide to dogs is because every person and every dog and every situation is so different. So there's really no right or wrong way to go about this. I mean, I guess there are some wrong things you could do, like don't beat or starve your dog, but I mean, I think, how do I say this? The way you train your dog, what you decide to feed your dog, how you decide to socialize your dog, all of that can vary, and different things work better for different people, different things work better for different dogs. So there's no really one size fits all. Like, these are not those leggings you see that like stretch out. You have to try things and kind of adjust to what works best for you. First and foremost, I'm going to say don't ever compare yourself to those large dog accounts on social media. Those people have probably had their dog much longer than you, especially if you're just bringing this dog home. Or if this is your very first foster, it's probably not going to be rainbows and butterflies like you see on social media, because most people portray a highlight reel, which is totally normal. I mean, it's hard and vulnerable to show our weak spots. So here I am doing that because I wish someone did it for me. So the truth is, I had no idea what I was doing with Tater Tot. I didn't know how many times a day to walk him. I was like, can we get a workout plan for this guy? Like, how long should each walk be? How many times does he have to pee a day? Like, what's the bare minimum I should be doing, so at least I know I'm exceeding that? I'm very like particular like that. But every dog is different, just like every person's bodily functions are different. So learning to adjust and spend time getting to know your dog, I think, is very key and important, and not comparing yourself to someone who has had their dog maybe 4 to 7 years and already went through multiple training programs and worked with their dog daily. You're definitely just not, that's not apples to apples. But also, you and your dog are so special and unique, and you should embrace that and love that and cherish every moment with them regardless. Next thing I would say is to really research training. Training is so important. Even if you have a small dog, I know sometimes I let Sweet Pea get away with things because she's smaller. I could just pick her up, carry her. I'm like, oh, it's no big deal. But the reality is, if she escapes, I don't want her getting hit by a car or eating something on the ground that could be poisonous. So I need to have a recall, and I need to have a way to stop her from eating things. So no matter how small and cute and easy she is to just pick up and toss and put in the car, not toss, but you know what I mean. It's important to be able to have some level of control of your dog for safety reasons, if nothing else, for safety. In researching training, really do your due diligence. Training is important, it's expensive, it's gonna change your relationship with your dog, okay? Do whatever method is best for you, best for your dog, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you can stick with. The only training method that literally won't work, and I promise you on my life, swear on my life, will not work, is the one that you don't stick to. Anytime you fall off a training program, anytime you fall off of a meal plan, your workout plan, guess what happens? You regress. Your progress regresses. Okay, so the best training program is whatever one you can do consistently. Dogs are very smart beings. They feed off of your emotions. So when you bring a new dog home and they're having all these freakouts, and then you start freaking out, they're gonna freak out more generally. So I think the best secret for owning a dog is learning to control your own emotions, because your dog is your mirror. So when you get anxious on the walk, your doggy gets anxious on the walk. And I know it's really, really, really hard, because people told me this a million times. So here's my best piece of advice. I mean, I watch those YouTube videos where they say, you know, keep your chest back, shoulders down, relax, don't tighten up on the leash. My piece of advice would be to put in just maybe even one earbud, listen to something that you really enjoy listening to, and make the walk fun for yourself. So even if your dog is not fully under control, maybe acting a fool, you're totally embarrassed, but just like make it joyful. Like, oh, I love this song. Sing to the song. Go with it, go with it, go with it. Oh yeah, Taters, you're sucking today, but stay upbeat and positive about it. My best trick is that when you smile, your brain starts to think you're happy. So just smile, listen to your music, and keep it going. But still learn how to train your dog, because that's gonna help. But don't freak out when accidents happen or when setbacks happen, because guess what? They're gonna happen. And you can face it in a calm, more positive manner, which makes them not as big of a deal. Oh, and that's the next thing, is that the dog in the photo or the dog you see in the shelter isn't necessarily going to be the dog you get at home, because the dogs take 3 days to decompress, and then 3 weeks to learn a routine, and then 3 weeks to really start to be themselves, and then sometimes they switch up on you again. So just remember that it will take time. You're going to get through it. And if you're not ready to fully commit to a dog, most shelters have a foster program where you could at least test run the dog and see like, hey, I'm picking out this breed because I think they're gonna jive with my lifestyle, super active, love to, do long hikes, things like that. You get the dog home and you're like, oh wow, all this dog does is sleep all day. I would have never known that until she got in my house, comfortable, and started living here for a few months. Usually her type of breed is very like high energy, love to be on the go, athletic. She's not, and that's okay. But if you do a foster program, you can learn that, and it makes it easier. So you're not really failing the dog or yourself or totally unhappy, but you can swap out, get that dog adopted, and still find your perfect fit. I think that's a really good thing, and I didn't know that. I always would just look at dogs online before I had Tot and be like, oh, I picked this one from just a photo, and because it has a sad story. But just like Tinder, you gotta try it out. Anyways, thanks for joining. If you have any tips that you think would be helpful, leave them in the comments. I'd love to make more videos like this, because I do think there's just so much out there that people would benefit from hearing, things that I would have benefited from hearing. I mean, I've had 1,000,001 meltdowns over these dogs, but I love them. They changed my life, and I would not change a minute of it. So thanks for being here, and stay tuned for more.